What is up, Scoopers, and welcome back to Sheeran Scoop. Get ready, because the news cycle is absolutely exploding today, and we've got the inside track on all the hottest updates you need to know. From jaw-dropping audition tapes that have fans in a frenzy to deep dives into multiverse madness and surprising career shifts, we're covering it all at lightning speed. You won't want to miss a single second of this high-octane episode. We're diving headfirst into the stories that are dominating the conversation, so buckle up and get ready for the scoop. Here's what's making waves. First up, did David Corenswet just prove he was born to be Superman? An audition tape has dropped, and the internet is losing its mind, with fans claiming he's channeling the legendary Christopher Reeve himself. We've got all the details on why this clip is causing such a massive stir and what it means for the future of the Caped Crusader. Next, the debate is raging. Was a key creative choice in the new Superman film actually a mistake? We're breaking down the fan-led movement to restore the original cut and exploring whether early audience feedback got it wrong. Is this a win for artistic integrity or a sign of fan entitlement? Then, multiverse mayhem. James Gunn is weighing in on the fate of the old DC universe. Is the DCEU truly gone, or is it just lurking in another timeline? We're dissecting the latest comments that could rewrite cinematic history and leave fans questioning everything they thought they knew. And finally, a major director and star from the blockbuster Aquaman franchise are speaking out about their potential return to the DC universe. Will we see familiar faces in the new era, or have they closed the door on superhero sequels for good? Get the exclusive on what they had to say. Don't miss any of this. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a scoop. Born for the role, Corenswet's viral Superman audition stuns fans. David Corenswet's highly anticipated audition tape for the role of Superman has officially hit the internet, and it's sending shockwaves through the DC fan community. The footage, which has rapidly gone viral across social media platforms, showcases Corenswet's compelling performance as Clark Kent, leading many to declare that he was quite literally born to play the iconic superhero. Fans are particularly captivated by his ability to seamlessly transition between the mild-mannered reporter and the powerful Man of Steel, a feat that has drawn direct comparisons to the legendary Christopher Reeve. The audition tape features Corenswet delivering lines from the pivotal interview scene with Lois Lane, with his wife, Julia Warner, providing off-camera support by reading Lois's dialogue. From the moment Corenswet introduces himself, there's an undeniable presence that resonates with the core of Superman. The pivotal moment where he removes his glasses, allowing a strand of hair to fall perfectly onto his forehead, has been singled out by viewers as a definitive portrayal of Clark Kent's duality and Superman's inherent nobility. This single shot, according to many, cemented his status as the frontrunner in the casting process. Director James Gunn himself has previously spoken about the extensive search for his Superman, revealing in a GQ article that while he reviewed approximately 400 candidates, Corenswet stood out from the very beginning. From the very beginning, he was the guy to beat, frankly, Gunn stated, emphasizing how Corenswet's screen test immediately set him apart. The fan reaction online mirrors Gunn's sentiment, with one user on X exclaiming, "The spirit of Christopher Reeve possessed him," perfectly capturing the nostalgic yet fresh energy Corenswet brings to the role. Another fan noted the intriguing aspect of seeing Corenswet's interpretation without Gunn's directorial influence, describing it as a blend of Christopher Reeve's classic portrayal and Tom Welling's earlier depiction of a younger Clark Kent. The widespread praise suggests a strong connection between Corenswet and the character, with comments like Christopher Reeve, this dude is literally born for this role. Like his voice, height, his jawline, blue eyes, everything just screams Superman. I can't wait to see more of his performance in the future. This level of enthusiasm indicates a high level of confidence from the fanbase in Corenswet's ability to embody Superman. Speculation is now rife about whether Gunn might release early reading tapes between Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane, to gauge the chemistry that will be crucial for the film's success. With Superman now available for digital rental or purchase, fans are eager to see Corenswet bring his celebrated performance to the big screen. Now that we've seen the audition tape that has everyone talking, can this new Superman live up to the hype? Stay tuned as we dive into the fan debate over the film's original cut. Fan uproar restores Superman's original cut. The intricate process of blockbuster filmmaking often involves a delicate dance between creative vision and commercial viability, with test screenings playing a pivotal role in shaping the final product. Studios invest immense resources, making the box office performance of a film paramount. This is precisely the scenario unfolding with James Gunn's latest Superman film, where a creative decision made based on early audience feedback is now the subject of intense fan debate. A viral fan edit has reinserted title cards that were originally intended to demarcate the film's timeline, sparking a passionate discussion about whether the removal of these elements was a misstep. In its theatrical release, the narrative of Superman unfolds over a week, but the initial cut explicitly laid out this progression with daily title cards, effectively structuring the movie into distinct chapters. Reports indicate that these title cards tested poorly with early audiences, leading to their excision from the final version. However, a fan edit by Danny Reguinho has skillfully reintegrated these title cards into key scenes, reigniting the conversation. On the popular subreddit RDC Cinematic, a thread titled "Honestly Disagree with the Test Audiences About the Removal of These" has become a focal point for fans who champion the original creative intent. This has highlighted a significant schism in fan opinion, with some users defending the studio's decision. "I like them gone," commented user Mikabevans88, expressing a preference for ambiguity unless a timeline is crucial to the plot. Conversely, others vehemently disagree. User HShomes0 sarcastically remarked, "For real, they probably picked these test audiences from Luther's pocket dimension," suggesting skepticism about the feedback's validity. A particularly compelling argument for retaining the title cards was articulated by user InfamousLab8136, who contended, "I'd counter that it was important to show that this was less than a full week." They elaborated by pointing to the rapid succession of threats Metropolis faces, from a Superman defeating foe on Monday to a kaiju on Tuesday, all while an interdimensional imp looms. This, they argued, establishes a universe where heroes and villains are not only active, but have become commonplace. This sentiment aligns with other instances where Gunn has prioritized specific creative choices over test audience reactions, such as retaining a scene where Superman saves a squirrel, a moment that has since garnered significant fan appreciation. Despite these debates, Superman has undeniably been a triumph for DC Studios, garnering an 83% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and becoming the highest-grossing superhero film of 2025. Its global box office has surpassed $600 million, with a domestic haul of over $346 million, making it the most successful Superman film in U.S. history. As the inaugural film of the new DCU, its success provides a solid foundation for future projects. While fans debate the finer points of the film's editing, the question remains, what does this mean for the older DC universe? We're diving into the multiverse and James Gunn's latest comments on the DCEU's status. Multiverse confirmed, Gunn addresses DCEU's fate in new DCU. The landscape of superhero cinema is undergoing a seismic shift with the official launch of James Gunn's DC Universe, signaling the definitive end of the DC Extended Universe. This transition, however, has left many fans pondering the lingering presence of the previous cinematic iteration. Can the films that comprise the DCEU, from Zack Snyder's initial vision to later installments like Aquaman and Shazam, still exist within a broader multiverse framework? According to James Gunn himself, the answer leans towards a yes, albeit with a significant caveat: don't expect to revisit it. The DCEU, which saw its commercial peak with Aquaman in 2018, grossing over $1.14 billion worldwide, experienced a noticeable decline in subsequent years. With 9 films released between 2018 and 2023, none managed to surpass $440 million at the box office. This trend, coupled with the appointment of James Gunn and Peter Safran to spearhead a franchise reboot, led to the creation of the DCU, kicking off with animated series like Creature Commandos and the live-action Superman starring David Corenswet. despite the closure provided by the Snyder Cut for fans disillusioned by the 2017 Justice League. The question of the DCEU's ultimate fate persists. Recent developments, particularly in the opening episode of Peacemaker Season 2, have further fueled this discussion. The episode subtly rewrites history by replacing the Justice League's appearance at the end of Peacemaker Season 1 with a new team, the Justice Gang, featuring Superman and Supergirl, without any explicit acknowledgement of the change. This alteration has not gone unnoticed by fans, with some drawing parallels between Gunn's actions and Thanos' universe-altering snaps. On Threads, a user posed a pertinent question regarding the continuity. Did the Flash film reset the DCEU and create the DCU? Or is the correct interpretation that the DCEU is simply off elsewhere in the multiverse, and now we're simply following the DCU, with the two universes merely sharing similarities? Gunn responded directly to these queries, offering a nuanced perspective. Haha, oh boy. None of these things really exist, so it's obvious I didn't erase any films from existence, he stated, downplaying the literal impact. However, he then elaborated on the multiverse concept. But if one really wants to pretend it's all real, the second is closer. You could say there are an infinite amount of timelines, and the DCU timeline is almost exactly the same as the PM Season 1 timeline, with very, very minor differences. He further suggested that many aspects of Peacemaker Season 1 align less with the DCEU than the DCU, positioning the first season as something of an outlier. This implies that while the DCEU might technically exist in a parallel timeline, the focus remains squarely on the new DCU, with no plans to reintegrate or revisit the former continuity. Gunn also addressed the feasibility of re-editing existing DCEU films to align with the DCU, deeming it an impractical endeavor, stating, "That would be millions of dollars of work for something only a very, very, very small minority care about. I'd rather spend that money on new stories." With the multiverse theory in play, the question turns to the stars of the previous era. Will they make a comeback? We're getting the latest on whether Aquaman's director and star see a future for themselves in the new DCU. Aquaman's stars and director unlikely to return to DCU. As James Gunn and Peter Safran forge ahead with their ambitious plans for the new DC universe, the question of continuity and the potential involvement of talent from the previous DC Extended Universe looms large. Two key figures from the massively successful Aquaman franchise, director James Wan and star Patrick Wilson, have recently expressed skepticism regarding their return to the revamped DCU. Their comments suggest that while the door isn't entirely closed, a reprisal of their roles or involvement in new projects under the current regime is improbable. The original Aquaman, released in 2018, stands as the highest-grossing film based on a DC Comics character globally, earning an impressive $1.152 billion at the worldwide box office. Directed by James Wan and starring Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry/Aquaman and Patrick Wilson as his half-brother Orm Marius/Ocean Master. The film, along with its 2023 sequel Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, marked the concluding chapter of the DCEU. DC Studios has already confirmed that Jason Momoa will be part of the new DCU, albeit in a different capacity, portraying the intergalactic bounty hunter Lobo. This casting decision, however, does not extend to Wan or Wilson, who, in a recent interview with Comic.com while promoting their new film, The Conjuring, Last Rites, shared their thoughts on potential future involvement. When asked about any conversations with DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn regarding a return, Wilson stated, "No, never met him, so I have no relationship there." He acknowledged his long-standing professional relationship with Peter Safran, Gunn's partner and their producer on the Conjuring franchise, noting, "Obviously, Peter Safran, his partner, is our producer, so I've known Peter forever." Wilson expressed satisfaction with their contributions to the Aquaman saga, adding, "We said what we needed to say with Orm, so yeah, I love the guy, love the character." This sentiment suggests a sense of closure regarding their DCEU roles. James Wan echoed this feeling of moving forward, admitting to having had chatted briefly on the surface with Safran about a potential DC return. However, he clarified that nothing concrete is in development. Wan revealed that he has been taking a hiatus from directing to focus on his mental health, explaining, "Directing just takes so much out of you physically and mentally and emotionally." While he didn't rule out a future return entirely, stating, "Never say never." His immediate focus is on recovering and potentially returning to his roots in the horror genre. "But for now, I'm slowly getting back in there. I tell you what I would be keen to do is I love the idea of maybe getting back into horror." This indicates a shift in his professional priorities away from large-scale superhero filmmaking for the time being. Both Aquaman films are currently accessible on HBO Max, while Wan and Wilson's latest project, The Conjuring, Last Rites, is slated for a September 5, 2025 theatrical release. We've heard from the Aquaman team, but what about the man who kicked off the new DCU? Get ready for the latest on David Corenswet's electrifying Superman audition. All right, Scoopers, that's a wrap on another action-packed update. We saw David Corenswet's audition tape go viral, sparking massive excitement for his Superman. Then, the debate heated up over restoring the original cut of the new Superman film. We also delved into James Gunn's comments on the DCEU's place in the multiverse and heard from Aquaman's director and star about their potential DCU futures. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more exclusive updates, ring the notification bell, drop a comment with your thoughts on today's news, and follow us on all social platforms to stay in the loop. See you next time on Sheeran Scoop.